so we were doing another Tom MacDonald song, Sheeple. I've heard this term used before. People who are basically not thinking for themselves or studying. They're just going with whatever anybody tells them, and they don't want to question anything, and they don't think anybody else should question anything. That's what I understand Sheeple to be. This picture looks disturbing. Don't know what's going on there. I'm sure we will find out. But the reason why we're doing this song is because in the comments, when I had done a song for him some time ago, I think it was American Flags, apparently like the first two songs that I had reviewed for Tom MacDonald were not the best songs to start me off with. And one of the recommendations was Sheeple. So I said, okay, let's take a look at this one. And maybe it wasn't American Flags. Maybe it was a different song. In fact, I think it was a different song, and it had Dax and one other person in there, and I thought Dax stole the show, and I can't even remember the name of the song now. Black and White. That's the name of the song. Anyway, took a second to remember that, actually. I'm getting old. I'm getting so old. But anyway, so I said, okay, let's take a listen, because there have been some truth bombs that have been dropped on those other two songs, and I just feel with a song called Sheeple, it's going to be another truth bomb that we're looking at, right? So we're going to take a listen to this one. If you like the content, you want to show some love and support and help Tom MacDonald grow his channel, I will link ways for you to do that in the description box below, and for myself if you so choose to do so. But let's get started.
Humans been controlled since the day that they were civilized. The truth has been so heavily politicized. If you don't know who's controlling you and killing all the little guys, find out who you're not allowed to criticize.
Whoa. Dude, you are 11 seconds in. Truth bomb. He's not lying. The person who you're not allowed to criticize, that's the person who wants to put a stronghold on everybody. That's the person who wants to put a stronghold on everybody. And I, for the life of me, I cannot understand why that there is so much evil in the world that feels like they get to have dominion over another human being's life, to monitor them, to sneak around, to look for something, or to snoop around. Like, we should have our own autonomy, and I don't think that we have it like we should. I mean, it's crazy to me. It's absolutely insane to me, but let's keep going with this.
Controlling you and killing all the little guys, find out who you're not allowed to criticize. Black folks who were never ever actual slaves, fighting with white folks who ain't actual Nazis, controlled by rich folks who use the news to make hate, while elite folks control other political parties. It's a big lie, trying to make you pick sides, trying to make you burn the cities down and kill each other. They got sick minds, big lies, deep on the police so that there's big crime. To take away our freedom, to restore order, they let die. Play with.
I've said this before. The elite, as he puts it. I say the powers that be. Like, the powers that be, they want us divided and fighting with each other over things that is centuries old. And they're doing that to distract us from what they're doing behind the scenes, to effectively hurt both sides. I mean, if you think about this, when things like that are happening, how many times is something else being covered up? And we find out about it years later, and then everybody says, oh, that's just conspiracy. Oh, that's just this. Oh, that's just that. You know what? I have to say something about conspiracies. Everybody thought Noah was crazy for building the ark until it started to rain. They called him a conspiracy theorist back then, in their own way, right? They called him crazy. They said, oh, that's not going to happen, until it started to rain. And that's the whole point. We're discrediting people who are thinking for themselves and trying to say something doesn't sound right about this. And then they get canceled, they get censored, they get told they're crazy, they're discredited as a human being. Why? Because powers that be want you to agree with them so that they can have dominion over your autonomy. And I don't like that. I personally don't like that. I think it's totally wrong and they shouldn't do that. Let's try to not stop anymore. It's kind of hard not to with a song like this, but we're going to try not to stop anymore.
To take away our freedom, to restore order they let die. Play with people, turn men into women, make the counterculture mainstream to mix up the system. Change the pronouns, if gender is a spectrum, so is privilege. I know poor white folks and black celebrities with millions. They starve you with a lack of information and only give you facts through a branded corporation. Distort your worldview with an algorithm that changes based on propaganda curated for your engagement. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Glued to screens, just part of the machine. Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? My sheep. Nothing's what it seems. Hollywood been rotting your brain, controlling your mouth. You say lit, fleet, bet, cap, they trying to dumb you down. They endorse whatever narrative is popular to shout and use minorities in movies for diversity clout. Two sides on the spectrum, but ain't none of them honest. Took the red pill and the blue pill, spit them both in the garbage. Being woke used to mean you understood you're a target, and now it's having two good legs and never taking a step forward. If you agree it's free speech, disagree it's hate speech. Erase it if it came from anywhere except the mainstream. Trump supporters labeled as the racist, but that can't be. Lincoln was Republican and that's who ended slavery. Science been politicized, it's easy to see. A mask became a symbol of which side you believe. But you'll never cure a sickness till you cure the greed, because the problem with our natural immunity is it's free. Society is broken, want you locked inside a cubicle, addicted to pornography, liquor, and pharmaceuticals. Tell you that you're fat and poor and you were never beautiful, then tweet how much they love you when they hear about your funeral.
Whoa, I was hoping not to have to stop again, but he said a whole lot right there, didn't he? He said a whole lot right there. Like, man, that was a lot of truth bombs right there. He's not wrong. He's not wrong in anything that he has said in any part, because at the end of the day, the underlying message of what he is saying is, if we come together, the system that is trying to control us falls. Think about this. You have a small number of people making all of the decisions for all of us. A small group of people are making all the decisions for us. And the easiest way for them to continue having that amount of power is if we are separated and fighting with each other. And he's saying we need to come together, because they want you to think that this is racist or that's racist or this is a gender construct, but privilege isn't, and this and that. You know, I get so sick of hearing that word privilege. There is no white privilege, there is no black privilege, there's only green privilege as far as I'm concerned, because whoever is the elite is the one who's calling all the shots. And the elite, it comes in all different shapes, sizes, colors, and backgrounds. I'm telling you right now, I don't think I'm wrong on that. I think I'm truly, truly, truly correct on that, because you can take a look all over the world and see people from different countries, of different backgrounds, of different ethnic values, of different genders, of different everything, and they're the ones controlling everything. And this is like, yeah, he's dropping a whole bunch of truth bombs here, and I was not expecting this much to kind of get thrown at us with this song. I was not. I knew he dropped truth bombs on his other songs, but it's nothing like this. Nothing like this.
They love you when they hear about your funeral. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Glued to screens, just part of the machine. Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? My sheep. Nothing's what it harms you. They want you dumb and dead. They divided you by race, religion, income, and sex. Made everybody right and left. The hatred got so intense. If the other side likes oxygen, you'll put a bag on your head. And the conspiracy theories labeled as misinformation is just a terrifying truth that scares the hell out the nation. The system treating you like trash and you got rifles to aim with. Just imagine how they'll treat you when your guns get confiscated. George Orwell, 1984 was his last lecture. George called them thought police. Now we call them fact checkers. Government surveillance trying to catch you. They don't ask questions. Mass incarceration equals capital for cash investors. The system isn't broke, it's working fine. Oppressive and chaotic is how it was designed. They say if we ain't doing nothing wrong, there's nothing to hide. While their agenda and intelligence completely classified. They don't teach you rights in school, you never learn them at all. Cause they're easy to remove if you don't know what they are. The only people you can rule are the criminal ones. So they force you into corners till you're breaking the law.
See, he said something else here. The rights are written down, but they don't teach them at all, because if you don't know what they are, you don't know that they exist. And that's why it's important to read the Constitution. That's important to read your Bill of Rights. That's why it's important to know what your rights are, what you're allowed to do. These are very important things that our country was founded on, stateside. I can't speak for other countries, just stateside, but you know, that's what our country was founded on this Constitution, to protect our rights, for the government not to get so big that it's controlling everything about our lives. And are there things that I think that are unfair with corporations and that they get a bigger shake? Yeah, of course. Of course there are things that are unfair. It's not a perfect system, but I'm going to tell you right now, there are several systems out there in the world, in other countries, that are by far worse. And again, I've said it before on this channel, my mother's family comes from Cuba, communist country. I want no part of that. Absolutely no part of that. You know, I love this country, and no matter how many people want to trash and bash, guess what? You can leave this country if you don't like it. Try to do that in Cuba. That doesn't happen like that. They keep you there. And you got to work for passage to get out. Or you got to have someone to sponsor you outside of the country. There's a whole lot of... Or you got to swim on a raft to get to freaking Key West and touch the sand just to become a political refugee. So, yeah, no. There is a lot that is being said here that's not a lie. And people need to wake up and join forces instead of being separated. Man, this is a heavy song.
Are the criminal ones, so they force you into corners till you're breaking the law. We can't be free, can't have no peace till we're on the same team, but y'all are sheep. Blue to screens, just part of the machine. Y'all are sheep. What do y'all believe? Oh, my sheep. Nothing's what it seems.
Definitely a brilliant song. I can't find a lie in here. He's not talking about black or white. He's not talking about left or right, as in one is better than the other. No, both sides have problems, okay? He's not saying one is better than the other in any capacity of anything. He's saying the disruption that we're experiencing right now is caused by people who want to keep us divided. And instead of dividing us, why don't we take the first steps to come together instead? Not for what your beliefs are, like if you want to believe in one way and I want to believe in another way, we have the right to do that. That's our right to do that. But we can come together for the common good of saying we don't want you oppressing all of us. That's just my opinion on it. That's just my thoughts. It may not be popular with everybody on this channel, and that's fine. And I respect that. If you don't agree, I respect that. But that's the beautiful part. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you. But we both can be independent thinkers. And I always say to myself, or not to myself, but to my daughter, whatever it is that you look up and whatever it is that you're hearing, look it up first. Don't take anything at face value, because people always want you to believe how they see it, not how what it really is. And that's how I feel. Like, if you, whenever I look at something, whenever I see something, I want to know what the full story is from beginning to end, and then I'll come up with my own conclusion, and I'll decide whether or not I agree or disagree with somebody. That's just how I am. I've always been that way. So yeah, this was a great song. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it a whole lot. And if you loved it, you know what to do. But that's going to do it for this one. I hope you live your life fabulously, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.